my channel. So in today's video, I thought I would sit down and do my eyeshadow collection video. I was kind of running out of ideas, and then when I got my new vanity for my makeup, I realized I had 27 and now I think I have 30 giant eyeshadow palettes. That does not include my singles or my small palettes. I did declutter the other day, but none of the giant palettes made it out. So I've got small, medium, and large palettes here. So since my large palettes are here in front of me, I think we'll just start with those. Okay, so I have all these giant pink palettes. I have 4 of them. They're all from Divina Cosmetics. I will leave the link down below. I personally don't have any eyeshadows from them. The only reason I know about them is I saw this on Instagram and it holds like 48 to 52 eyeshadows, which is what I need. So these are all of my Morphe depotted shadows. When I was moving, a lot of my palettes broke, so I just decided to depot the colors that I use. And then these 2 big ones are some eyeshadows from Do Less Cosmetics. I kind of did a small review on them. I really don't touch them that often. I really don't have a lot to say on them. So in this palette, I have all of my Ofra Cosmetics singles up here. We got this in a BoxyCharm last year. I'm having so much trouble holding this palette. I have one little small one from Urban Decay, 2 from Suva Beauty, 2 from Mary Kay, and then these are all of the ColourPop shadows. I believe from their last release. I got them at the beginning of the summer. So we have a few blues, purples, pinks, yellows, all my colors that I use on the daily. My last 2 palettes that I have here, this one on my right hand looks really sad if I can get a hold of it, but these are just all of my Texas House of Glitters. Yeah, this is what I used to store them in when I first started, and I needed to take single shots and I had to have every single palette made. And now since I have my personal palettes, I just put most of those in there. I'll show y'all one of those later. But that is all that I have for my empty shadows in my big palettes. The only other big palettes that I have and or have ever really have are the Morphe palettes. So this one is the 35E palette. I believe this was the first one that I had. I got this one and the 35U for my birthday my sophomore year, and I'm going into my senior year. So as you can tell, this has been loved. 35U and my 35O I depotted. And then this is the 35F. I got this past year for my birthday. My roommate Sam got it for me. She literally sent me on a scavenger hunt, which brought me back to being a kid because my parents used to send me on scavenger hunts for Christmas and my birthday. And this was really special to me because I waited like 8 months. They came out literally the day after I told myself in the summer I wasn't going to buy any eyeshadow palettes until the end of the year, which I don't think I did. I think the only one that I bought was Huda Beauty Rose Gold palette, and that's because of the VIB sale, and I was like, it's on sale, it doesn't count. So this palette is super special to me. And then of course, we have our new baby, the Jaclyn Hill palette, which I am pretty sure I'm gonna hit pan on this little yellow color here pretty gosh darn soon. I have used it every single day since I got it. I can already see a little dent forming, and this is a great palette. I'm taking it with me to travel. And I'm not just saying that because I like Jaclyn, but it truly does have like the perfect array of colors. You have light shimmers, medium shimmers, dark shimmers, bright colors, dull colors, transition shades. You literally have everything you need in a palette. I could go for a bright orange, hot pink, and bright red, but that's just me. Okay, I think we're gonna go through our medium sized palettes now. Our other new baby here is the Naked Heat palette, and I am keeping the packaging because it is just adorable. The packaging on this palette is A1. The package itself is great. This is so different from all the other ones, and it has a lifted font, and this palette is great. It is absolutely beautiful. They are the perfect colors if you like really warm tones, but also if you aren't even into the bright reds and coppers that are in here. The transition shades and the shimmers really aren't even that vibrant. You can build them up easily, spray some Fix Plus on top, you're good to go. I really do think it is a good everyday palette for somebody who's very into neutral. Our next one is the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. So I bought the 3 Naked palettes for Christmas my senior year, and then I think going into freshman year I bought this palette. So I've had this palette for 4 years now. This used to be like my go-to palette. This transition shade when I first started YouTube, this one and Mary Kay Adobe, used it every single video. Salted caramel and milk chocolate, used it as my transition shade every single day, every single video. Absolutely love it. This is the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. If y'all, I don't even know if I even got around to filming a, oh no, my footage was really bad. I did film a comparison to the fake one. Actually, did I put that up? I don't even know. I know that I filmed a comparison video. I can't remember if I uploaded it or not. I realized that I had a fake knockoff Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, so I bought the real one, and in my opinion, the swatches of the pinks, purples, and oranges were the biggest difference, and one of the shimmers was like a complete other shade. I think it was Vermeer was a complete different color. But overall, I thought the fake one worked just fine. It worked really well, obviously, since I didn't know I had a fake. So I did recently pick that up this year. I can't really show y'all this palette, but this is some more Texas House of Glitters. But some of them are just some of my loose holographic shades. There's a lot of broken ones in here because I travel with it and I forget that I have makeup in my purse and I'll sling it around everywhere. I have a, not a surprise, an experiment that I'm working on. And if I can find the right containers, it's gonna work, but it's something nobody's ever done before. So I'm really hoping that it works out because it's really, really cute. And you get like 7 times the amount of product. So let's just keep our fingers crossed that that ends up working out. Next up is the Huda Beauty Rose Gold palette. And when I first got this, I was pissed. I mean, I was on another level because the main thing about this palette were these, I don't even remember what they're called, the textured shadows. That's what it's, the textured rose gold palette. And these top shades up here were supposed to be textured. Now, the thing about them, personally, this is just my opinion and how it works on my skin. They swatch well, they swatch on your hand well. They will not go onto my eyeball. They do not go on, they do not stay on, they do not stick. I cannot pack them on. I cannot do anything. So I was pissed about this palette for a while. And then Sephora wouldn't let me return it because my Sephora here just isn't all that great. So I got to using it, and then I realized that I really love all these colors. They are my everyday colors. I use them constantly. These 4 right here, my main shades, I'm gonna hit pan on this rose gold pink up here. So in the end, I did end up loving it. At first, I was a bit salty, but I ended up falling in love. This, I feel like, is just, I don't know. I remember buying this for free at Ulta because I saved up my points to buy this palette my sophomore year. It's the Too Faced Stardust palette in collaboration with Vegas Nay. I think that's one of the first collaborations that ever really came out, maybe. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't really know. But it's a beautiful palette. You have transition shades. You have a plain matte white shade, beautiful shimmers, dark shades, a purple, golds. It is all around a great palette, and it came with an eyeshadow insurance and a small little glitter, which I still have both of. And when I first started my channel as well, I use this palette all the time. And I still really like to travel with it because it's almost like the Jaclyn Hill palette. It literally has something that every single person can use. Obviously, 12 shadows compared to 36, not so much, but it really is a good palette for traveling because you can create so many different looks with it. Now we have the original Carly Bible BH Cosmetics palette. This was the first one that she came out with. Now, I don't really use this one that often, but I do like to bring it when I'm doing freelance or when I'm doing my friend's makeup because I literally have friends from the lightest of skin tone, lighter than me, to the darkest skin tone. So this palette is really good because of the highlight shades. They work on every single skin tone. You can mix and match. The colors, the eyeshadows are absolutely beautiful. So buttery. They work really well. It's just not something I reach for. But these golds right here work so, so well on people with dark skin tones. That's one of my favorite palettes to use on my friends who have pretty much any pigmentation besides me. If you have pigmentation of any sort, that palette will look great on you. This is the Buff Collection by Pure Cosmetics. We got this in a BoxyCharm. It is a Naked 3 knockoff, and the only reason that I still have it, I was gonna film my video with the Naked 3 palette, didn't get around to it. I don't really reach for it. The shades are literally the exact same, so if you have the Naked 3, it works. It literally works the exact same. Sometimes I'll reach for it if I'm going for a really pink rosy look, since it obviously is a lot of rose gold colors, but on the daily, I never even remember that I have it, honestly. One of my recent additions that I'm absolutely in love with, I waited for a sale to get this palette, y'all. I've had my eye on this palette for probably close to a year now. This is a Suva Beauty Cupcakes and Monsters palette. Just look at it, like, this should just have my name on it. I've done 3 looks with this palette this week. Absolutely love it. These are so creamy. If you watched my original video on this, you probably heard me mention that some of them you have to get past the first layer to get to the butteriness. Some of them are quite chalky, but they blend out so easily. I think these are the easiest eyeshadows I've ever blended out, and sometimes with bright colors that is very hard to come by. So this palette is just, it is everything I could possibly ever want in a bright colored palette and more, because these colors blend so well together. I used those for the other day and I had a flawless eyeshadow look. It was beautiful. Okay, and now we are on to our last set, which are our smaller palettes. The first one is the Blink BoxyCharm Electric Ice palette. We got this in last month's BoxyCharm. I did do a review on it. Only thing I don't like about it is it does not have a transition shade or any matte shades, which is okay because if you're like me, I use my bronzer as a transition shade when I travel. So this is great for traveling. It can literally fit in a clutch. Beautiful color, so pigmented, so buttery. I just really don't like the fact that it doesn't have any transition shades in it. Next up, we also got in BoxyCharm is the Real Her 2 shadow palette in Do Your Swatch, and honestly, I think I've used this twice. I know I used it on my friend when I did her makeup the other day. The shimmers are absolutely beautiful, but when I got the palette, the swatches and the colors here looked completely different than they did online. I don't know if there was 2 different types of palettes people were getting, but mine does not look like what it does online or what any of the swatches look like online, so... And it's just, I'm not a neutral person, so it's not a palette that I really reach for. Alright, next up is a Texas House of Glitters palette. Now, please don't judge. This has been loved so hard. Like, there is glitter everywhere. This is the Dolly Parton palette. If y'all don't know and you are new to my channel, I do have an Etsy shop where I sell cosmetic glitter. I will leave my link down below. It is Texas House of Glitters, and I am getting new palettes soon, so they will be magnetic. There will not be any mix-ups or anything this time. Fingers crossed. Last time it was just, it did not go well. I mean, you live and you learn, you make mistakes, but that was not fun. But we are getting new palettes very soon. Next up, we have the Morphe Little palettes and Coffee Toffee and Awesome Blossom. These came out this past fall. This has a lot of mauves and browns in it, and this one has more bright colors. I did have the black and white one. I don't remember what that one was called, but I gave it away because I literally never touched it. These are all of my Makeup Geek shadows that I have in here, and one Makeup Geek blush. Again, I got all these in a BoxyCharm, including this little palette they came with it. These work awesome. I really do enjoy Makeup Geek, and I feel like they're very underrated. That's another palette that I like to travel with if I know I'm not doing bright colors. I know I don't need to do a lot of looks. I'll normally bring that one if I'm just going home for the weekend. Next, we have the Tartelette Amazonian Clay palette, and I bought this again my freshman year because I really wanted a matte palette that had a lot of purples, and this palette has it all. Again, this is a very good everyday palette. You have very light colors, dark colors, mediums. You have whites, pinks, tans, browns, purples, grays, blacks. You have a ton of colors in here. Only downfall is it doesn't have shimmer, but they do have another one. Is it the Blossom palette? They have another palette that does have, it has flowers on the front and it's pink, that has shimmers, but I really like that because of the purples it has in it. Now we have the Studio on the Go makeup palette, again from BoxyCharm, and I like this one again because of all the mauves, purples, and shimmers that it has in it. I did have the other one that we got. I think we got these palettes 2 months back to back. I had the other one. It was all neutrals, so I gave it away. This palette I didn't use as much as I want to, and I'm really actually disappointed in it. It's the Kylie Cosmetics Holiday Palette, and honestly, I bought it for this row right here. The silver, the blue, and the green. The blue and the green have absolutely no pigmentation, y'all. Like, I'm not even kidding. There is no pigmentation in these. I mean, this silver rocks my world, but I have a, I believe it's by Bellatier, Total Intensity True Metals eyeshadow. It's literally the exact same color and it's even more intense. So I found a dupe for it, and that's literally the only reason I had that palette was for the silver, but I just don't even want to bother trying to sell it. They've been swatched. It's almost a year old. I mean, the holidays are coming up soon. Oh well. Last but not least is one of my absolute favorite palettes of all times. It is the NYX Ultimate Palette. It's eyeshadow palette. Bright, bright, bright colors. If this does not scream me, then you don't know me. I just love this palette. Like, I would cuddle this palette. If I had to keep one bright eyeshadow palette and it was between these two, I almost feel like I would choose this one because it has different tones of every color. These, they have one blue, one green, one purple, one teal. These have a few different colors, and like, I use these yellows every single day. So that completes my big eyeshadow collection. If y'all want a single eyeshadow and a small palette collection, please give this video a big thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, you need to do that if you want to win my international back to school giveaway. I will leave that link down below. If you have any comments or questions or video requests, please leave that down in the comment section, and I'll see y'all in the next video.